Welcome back, guys. So today I'm going to be doing another little experiment. A while back I did a video about how I used the Drywasher to try to charge a 12-volt battery, and it looked like I brought it up by 10%, but I'm not so sure. How I checked that was on my battery charger, and when it charges it only goes up by increments of 10. So when I started it, showed it was at 70%, and then when I was done with my little experiment, it showed 80. Well, really, I don't know if the battery started at 78%, 79%. So I figured I would take a cell phone. I have a little bit different controller today. 5 amp output for a cell phone charger, the speed charger. And I figured I would see about how much it took me to crank 7 buckets, same as last time. And it'd take me about 35 minutes to crank, and see how much of a cell phone that has increments by 1 it'll take to charge. But let me show you this charger controller I got. So here's this charger. I just bought it, so I've never used it. It may take me a little bit to get used to it, but in here is where you hook the leads. This shows kind of like a little solar panel, so of course that's where I'm going to hook the Drywasher to. These leads would go towards a battery to charge a battery, and then of course these leads here would be to hook up a light or some other kind of thing. But this is what I'm going to be using here today to try to charge the phone. So I'll get all of this set up on the Drywasher, do some runs with my meter, make sure it's all working right, and run a little experiment before I get to filming. But I'll get this all set up. I'll get to hand cranking the Drywasher. And then another little thing I want to do here is I want to check the tailings from the Drywasher, see what kind of gold values we lose. So let me get to work. So we will run a first initial test just to see if everything lights up. That's looking pretty good. Both of the meters were I'm trying to watch both of the readings, but they were all pretty much at the same. So this is working. We don't need this anymore. I'll get rid of that. I will get to running material. I will plug in the phone, run a real quick test just to see if the phone fires up, make sure that these are working, and we will get on it. All right. Here's the phone in action. Let's see what happens. It came on. So it's got the little lightning bolt on there. Just faded out. So plugs are working. Everything's working. I'm going to get to running all this material and get whooped again. This deal right here, it was, I classified all this stuff at the claim. The material was a little bit moist, and when I pushed it through the quarter, it kind of made little clump balls, and then it didn't really get a big chance to really dry out here. You don't see, there's some dust there, but there's not a whole lot of dust going on there. Not like normal, but I'll tell you one thing, this stuff right here, yeah. Oh man, that is a workout, guys. Holy moly. All right, keep pressing on. You know, it needs to be Pabst Blue Ribbon time already. But yeah, it's really hard work to use that. It's not so bad if you're not trying to push the generator on that machine. If you don't have the other belt on, it's really not all that bad. But not when you're trying to do this. Oh my God, guys, my freaking arms are on fire. Whew. That is one hell of a workout. Let me get this last, let me get it cleaned up. Let me get that tray thrown in, the bucket of my concentrates. We'll take a look to see where this battery's at here in just a minute. I got the phone turned off, so we'll just let it sit there in that moment in time, see what happens. Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one, but then I will get to panning the concentrates and see what we find out of these 7 buckets. I'll be back. Alrighty, here we are. Let's see. Let's see how much we charge this puppy up. Come on, fire up. Where are you? Well, we bumped it up by, I don't know if you can see that or not, 7%. We started at 30%. It is now at 37%. That is actually not too bad. That would get you out of an emergency. I ran 7 buckets and I timed a couple of them. They were both around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So 3 minutes and 30 seconds times 7, that's going to be somewhere around 24 minutes of run time. I went up by 7%, so that is not terrible, but a good little experiment. So I got that piece of it. I'm going to get to panning these cods. I'll be back at the end to show you guys what I find out of this. So this is my super sluice pan. So it's a big dog, but that's all the gold I found. I'll get this all dried up, stashed off to the side, and then we'll run all this material a second time, all these tailings, see if what I lost out of the dry washer. But I'll get all the rest of the material, all 7 buckets, and ran through the sluice and see what we lost. Okay, so I got all that material ran from the dry washer, and you know, I classified that stuff down to 1/4, but the material was kind of moist, and when I dried it up, it kind of had all these little dirt clods in there. But it went through the dry washer, and a lot of that stuff kind of bounced out. Kind of shocked at my results here, because in this pan, from the material I ran through Sluicy, it looks like just as much gold as I got from the dry washer, if not more. So let me head on over here and show you this pan. So check that out. Look at all that gold that came out of those 7 buckets. Don't have no idea what it'll weigh. It'll probably weigh. Let me get this stuff snuffered up, and we will get both of these taken inside, get them weighed up, and see what our capture rates were on this one. So here we are at the scale, ladies and gentlemen. That is the first run. That is the second run. Boy, they look about the same. Let me tear this out. This is the material that came from the dry washer. That is 0.036. We'll get this dumped off over here to the side. Boy, this is hard to do holding this phone like this. This is the stuff that had gone through the dry washer, and then I sluiced. So this is going to tell us what the dry washer lost. Bam! So the dry washer lost more than 50%. Part of the problem here is that the material was dried and it was clumpy, had dirt clods, you know. But let's go ahead and weigh it all up. See exactly what I got out of that. So on this little deal, 0.80 for the 7 buckets, not too shabby. We Learned that a Drywasher can charge a phone battery in about 24 and a half minutes and put in 7%. If I look at the correlation between the battery, I said, oh, that'd probably take about 7 hours. Well, to charge a phone would be about 7 hours also. So guys, hope you guys have a good day, afternoon, or evening. We will talk to all you guys later. Gold Pen and Suntan is out.